Hello, my name is Andrea, and I'm the nutritional therapy practitioner at Blue Mountain Wellness. I bet you or somebody you know is struggling with fatigue. I myself struggled with chronic fatigue for years. Until I understood cellular health, I chased so many protocols and so many things until I really found out that our mitochondria, which we learned in middle school biology, is really the most important thing and the powerhouse of our cells. If the mitochondria are not functioning right, or if your cells are not functioning right, then nothing's going to function right, and fatigue is definitely going to be a symptom. Feeling tired and groggy when you wake up is not normal. Our body should have enough energy to complete the tasks of the day, and even as we age, that should not be an excuse to why we feel tired. In today's video, I'm going to talk a little bit about mitochondrial health and what we can do to support that so that we can feel energized. First of all, I just want you to picture your body as a city where every building, vehicle, and machine needs energy to function, which is true. Well, our body is also built the same way. It needs energy to function. Mitochondria are microscopic organelles that sit inside your cells. You've probably often heard them referred to the powerhouse of the cells. Mitochondria create energy from three things: the food we eat, the air we breathe, and the light that we're exposed to. Now, what mitochondria does is it takes those nutrients from food, light, or air, and it changes it into something called ATP, which is energy. Your heart, your brain, your muscles, every part of your body relies on this to function properly. So that means the more mitochondria you have, the more energy and endurance you have. And yes, it is possible to create more mitochondria. One of those things is strength training. The more muscle we have, the more cells we build, and eventually the more mitochondria we have. That is why I think strength training is super important and something that you should incorporate into your daily habits. Some other symptoms you may have associated with poor energy may be brain fog, digestive issues, irritable. All of these things can be contributed to poor mitochondria quality and function. Before we get into the how we help the mitochondria, I want to first talk about how we can harm it. So like I said before, right, mitochondria rely on food, air, and light. So if we look at the poor quality of all of those things, those are going to damage our mitochondria. For example, food. If we're eating processed food that is not high quality or nutrient dense, it is going to damage or slow down our mitochondria. And honestly, it can damage our cells as well. So it's not just affecting the mitochondria, it can affect other things like our DNA. It can actually put epigenetic markers on our DNA to where we're more likely to express a disease. I actually have a video, and I can link it below, talking about epigenetics if you want to learn more about that. But the food we eat is super important, and there's so much information out there. But we really want to stick to a 90 to 100% whole food diet. So before grocery stores were invented, what would we be eating, right? We can't find goldfish and Cheez-Its and Doritos out in the wild, so we probably should not be consuming them, at least not every day. If not, in my opinion, we shouldn't be consuming them at all. So you probably heard this before, but stick to the outside of the grocery store. If you can find local butchers or local farmers that can provide you with fruits, vegetables, and meat, that would be your best option. The second thing that can damage our mitochondria and cell function is the quality of the air we breathe. If you're around people who smoke a lot, if you're inside a water-damaged building that has mold, if you just have poor air quality because of a fire that was recently because of an environmental fire that had just recently happened, or even perfumes and fragrances and having new furniture, like this couch can emit something called VOCs, which can pollute the air. So having good air quality, getting outside, getting fresh air, having an air purifier in your home, checking to make sure you don't have mold are all things that you can do now to make sure that your mitochondria is functioning properly. So we talked about food, we talked about air, the last thing is light. So there is such thing as light pollution. You've probably heard of this. So when you're in the city and you look up, you cannot see the stars because of the lights that are in the city. So there has been numerous studies done on the LED lights and how they are affecting our health. And this is one thing that is huge when it comes to fatigue and energy function. The LED lights that we have in our house are first on the blue side of the spectrum, so you're not getting the full spectrum of light. There is some light that we cannot see, like infrared light, but you're also not getting the intensity. There's something called lux when it comes to light. So when you step outside, even if it's cloudy or rainy, it's still brighter than when you're inside with these lights because the intensity and the energy of the sun is way more powerful than the LED lights we have in our house. So changing up your light environment is super important. That's why here at Blue Mountain Wellness, we have the red light beds, which I'll get more to in just a moment. So we covered food quality, air quality, and light quality. All those things matter when it comes to our cellular health and feeling energized and alive. Now I'm going to talk to you about some more practical things that you can include into your lifestyle or ask one of the providers here at Blue Mountain Wellness. Or if there is something else that you're dealing with and you would love to speak with me and get on a program, that is something that we can offer as well. B vitamins, you've probably heard of the B12 shots. The reason they work is because our mitochondria use B vitamins, not just B12, but all the B vitamins. So a food that you can be eating that has all of the B vitamins is steak. Red meat is super nutrient dense, and this is something that I believe that you should be including into your diet daily, if not every other day. Another vitamin that is super important is vitamin C. We can get this from fruits and different vegetables like broccoli. They actually have a lot of vitamin C in it. My favorite is camu. Camu, it is a fruit. Typically get it in a powder. I try to stay away from the ascorbic acid, synthetic vitamin C. If you can get it from food, that is way more beneficial. Another vitamin that is super important for mitochondrial health is vitamin D. Now, vitamin D, we can obviously get it from the sun, but we can also get it from some foods like fish and eggs and dairy. So be sure to incorporate those into your diet, as well as make sure you're eating enough healthy fats and cholesterol. Vitamin D is actually synthesized through cholesterol. So if you do not have enough cholesterol or healthy fats in your diet, you may not be synthesizing your vitamin D correctly. There's some other things like vitamin E or CoQ10 or ALA, which is short for alpha lipoic acid. All those things can definitely be beneficial for your mitochondrial health. And there's a new, I wouldn't say it's a fad, but there's a new supplement that is out. It's called methylene blue. I have personally started taking this recently, and I've definitely seen a difference. So that is something that if you're interested in, we can definitely talk about that and hopefully get you started on a program. So that's the food aspect. Now the light aspect, you want to be exposing yourself to red light every single day. There's a couple ways that you can do that. You can utilize the red light beds at Blue Mountain, which I highly recommend. They have saved my life. They have helped countless of patients with their energy and even weight loss and skin issues, and just reduce overall inflammation because it stimulates your mitochondria. Another thing that you can do is make sure that you are watching the sunrise and watching the sunset, and that means that you're outside enjoying that. You're not driving in the car or anything like that, which can be really inconvenient for a lot of people with their work schedules. So definitely red light therapy is the way to go for most of that. And also just reducing your blue light exposure. Try and get some blue light blocking glasses, maybe change out your light bulbs. You don't have to go to those extremes, but I definitely recommend taking more consideration into your light environment because it really does affect us. The third thing, obviously, is checking your house for mold and any type of air pollutants. But we also want to make sure that we're exercising and strength training or doing things like HIIT workouts or incorporating fasting into our daily lives. This should not be done, though, without some sort of plan or supervision, because if you're stressing your body out too much, you can actually cause more mitochondrial damage. So you definitely want to be speaking to a professional when starting to incorporate things like fasting and HIIT training and all of those things. Again, if you want to start a program with me, please give the office a call and I can get you on a dietary and workout plan so that we can optimize your health. So to recap a little bit, if you are struggling with fatigue, it could be simply that maybe you're not eating enough or maybe not eating enough of the right food. I've had plenty of patients where they just weren't eating enough protein and we changed that in their diet and they felt way more energy. But I do have to say, I think that is still incorporated with their mitochondria, right? Because their mitochondria takes that nutrients and turns it into energy. So it's super important that we're eating enough, especially enough of protein and these vitamins and minerals so that our cells can function properly. Do not underestimate the power of lifestyle change. It is the foundations of health, and it is simple yet hard, but I am here to help walk you through that. So again, please, if you guys have any questions, comment below, and if you would like to schedule an appointment, give the office a call, and we'd be happy to schedule you with one of our providers. Other than that, I hope this video was super educational for you guys, and that is it for today's video, and I hope that you gleaned some tips and are able to implement some of these new strategies into your life so that you can elevate your health.